And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene from the living world of darkness, Rage Across New York. Tonight's scene is the entrance of two new faces to the Sept who have just emerged from the heart of the cairn in the wake of a trip over a moon bridge. One walking very tall and cocksure, and the other, regardless of being in Krynos, kind of lurching along at his side. And of course preceded by the little sing-songy chime of the bells that have been strapped onto her antlers. Would anyone like to investigate? We would be Umbra post Moonbridge.
Assume Aiden hears all this and probably will summon Sierra, like people come across.
Trace will kind of go over. Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, wow. Teresa kind of like looks a little closer at the one from afar. And she's like, "No, those aren't antlers. Those can't be antlers."
They're fucking antlers. He just says it quite just completely stone-faced,
That must be the 10.1, the Banshee mentioned.
Aye.
Which means that one she'll look over. All right. Shall we go and greet?
Sure. It's gonna be great. He kind of just looks at Teresa. Hold on to me, will you? Just in case,
All right. So, what Predator's focus and 10 point are going to see on approach is, well, y'all see Aiden's overlay up. But considering y'all can't see what Teresa looks like, I'm just going to throw it into the chat. Bam.
I can smell the Fianna pure breed on him.
Imagine that, but without all the jewelry and stuff. Because a room. So they'll come up to approach. And she'll say, "Hello to the two of you. Name's Public Enemy. Foster and ruin of the Glasswalkers born on two legs. And you two would be..." And she'll look at presumably the one with Silver Fang Pure Breed first, because that's kind of what you do.
It's made all the easier by the fact that once they get within a certain distance, the Krynos just readily goes ahead and slumps to the ground and rolls onto her back.
At the mention of your rank, the one with the Silver Fang Pure Breed goes down to one knee and will kind of lean two arms on his knee and look up at you.
Teresa will do the... She's going to try her best, because she's only kind of seen this in movies and TV shows, but she'll kind of make the motion for Predator's focus to come on back up, which is also extended to 10 point, as they have, expressed submission and all that.
He'll move back to his feet and smile slightly. I'm Balian Kraus, born on two legs, son of Falcon, the Half Moon.
And 10 Point's going to give a wary glance first to Aiden and then to her packmate before making any motion to rise.
Okay.
You just see one hand start to travel towards his belt. It kind of lingers there for a minute, and then it lowers a little bit further towards 10 Point, and just one finger just kind of does a doop doop towards her.
And so she'll stay frozen there for a hot second, and then finally will go about the process of righting herself over very carefully, not touching her packmate in the process, and lurch back up to her feet.
Aiden will look at the Silver Fang and just nod and go, Aiden Lynch, strikes unseen, Hamid Ragabash, Cleeth. And nod, like showing a bit of, just respect and all that. He won't address 10 Point at all. He doesn't even look at her.
Balian turns and just nods his head slightly towards Aiden in acknowledgement of the introduction.
Yeah. So Teresa will say to Predator's Focus, she'll say, so presumably you have just gotten back here. Have you both been properly cleansed yet?
He'll raise an eyebrow a little bit. I have not had the right, however, I did just step in off of a moon bridge. Custom of this sept.
Yes.
He nods. Absolutely then.
No disrespect, just procedure.
None taken. No need to assume disrespect for one's customs. And he will just kind of stand there with his hands at his side, awaiting whatever passes for a cleansing ritual here.
Bob, do you want me to roll the rite of cleansing, considering they did literally come in off a moon bridge?
I mean, you are doing the right. So you
Okay.
have to roll it.
Okay. I just know some people like to hand wave it. What's the diff for this one?
Diff for this particular type of rite is Rite of Accord. Charisma Rituals Diff 7.
Okay. Sorry, my stuff's getting pretty slow on me.
We still love you.
Are you attempting
Yeah,
to...
just-
And to fail.
What's that?
And to
Wait, am
fail.
I attempting to what?
I was about to ask you attempting to also cleanse 10 point in the same sweep, but it's kind of a moot point.
Nah.
You failed.
She'll just kind of say, "That was the wrong. It was the wrong size stick again. I always do that." Gets a new one. Spins a fucking willpower point.
All right. You'll be a Diff 8 this time around.
Yep. Still spent the willpower.
Fair enough.
And I'll spend the Gnosis to cleanse 10 point as well.
Okay. Teresa, foregoing the ways of her people, runs around you screaming with a stick that's mildly on fire.
You know, Teresa, could just ask somebody else to do it. Oh, that Cotter one, I heard you from a mile away.
Watching her was fucking hilarious.
You know, none of you. Hey, you didn't volunteer.
But just go here.
I'm talking to Aiden.
I don't
You
fucking
get
know.
the-
He just spreads his hands, You're a higher rank, right?
Predator's Focus appears to have a slightly confused look on his face. He raises an eyebrow.
And as more people arrive, 10 Point resumes her previous position. It's already... It is the weirdest, most practiced kind of just roll onto the ground and onto her back from Krynos you've probably ever fucking seen.
Although Public Enemy will look to Predator's Focus and she will say, well, since y'all have been properly cleansed and we did receive word of your arrival before you got here, so come on in. Does Banshee need to be aware of your presence, or is she already aware of your entry?
My alpha knew of us or our arrival this evening.
Very well, then. Then I won't need to send word.
He smiles slightly.
The Umbra can be a quite... it can be quite left wanting in regards to sustenance. Are either of you hungry?
I have not eaten recently. It could do with something. It has no need of food currently.
Alana opens her satchel. Glances up at Teresa. I still have some bacon from the other night. Not sure how, but managed to end up with some left over.
Yeah, I'm not sure how either. All right. Predator's Focus, do you happen to like bacon?
He smiles. I would be a poor guru did I not like bacon.
Alright. Would you like plain bacon? Bacon covered in chocolate or bacon covered in caramel?
His eyes narrow for a moment, as if trying to determine if you're joking.
And she pulls out a container and you can clearly see 3 different kinds of bacon in it.
He'll raise an eyebrow and just kind of, you can see he's just kind of shaking his head slowly and he catches himself. Plain
She opens
bacon
it and
will be
offers
fine.
it out.
Plain bacon will be
Plain
fine.
bacon it is.
He'll reach
She hands
across
him
and
some.
take the offered bacon.
Bound in
My
Tempest.
thanks.
Postern. The Urge. Fiona. Metis.
He'll smile and his head will turn to the side a little bit, offering a throat.
She'll give you a nod of acknowledgement.
He'll turn his head back up straight. Balian Cross, Predator's Focus to the nation. Child of Falcon born of 2 legs, half moon. And then he blatantly turns back towards Teresa.
All right. Well, now that all the procedure is done, shall we head in a bit deeper then? So that we could stretch your legs, get a good look at the sept? Since I figured you'll be here for a while.
Oh, and actually, if I remember this properly, after Alana's introduction, 10 Point will stir slightly where she lay on the ground, and she does have a bag on her, not too dissimilar from the one Alana carries, I think. And she will reach into it and produce, just kind of holding it up maybe an inch away from her pack makes fingertips a little wet nap thing, like the little paper, one-use wet nap.
As if absent-mindedly, Predator's Focus will reach down. He will trade the piece of bacon for the wet nap, almost as if giving a dog a treat, and start cleaning his hands. You mentioned something about a tour, I believe.
Just all the major locations are at. Figure while you're waiting for Banshee, if that's all right. If you'd rather just sleep, I understand.
No, thank you. I would rather be more acquainted with my... Kind of looks around and sighs a little bit, perhaps a little bit over dramatically. New home.
Still mad. She'll look to the rest. Well, come on then, y'all. And they'll just kind of start walking about.
Saoirse pipes up. Well, I haven't introduced myself yet. Raya.
Teresa kind of jumps. Oh my god, I didn't see you.
I snuck in with Binding Tempest.
Go ahead, do your proper introductions. That.
She looks to Predator's focus and kind of side eyes down at 10 point, or up if she's standing. I don't know if she's left the ground yet. Saoirse O'Brien, Fiona, Galliard, Hamid, Cleath. Pleased to meet you. And she hands out, just kind of sticks her hand out to Predator's focus to shake it.
He will reach his hand out as well and will take the hand, smiling slightly. Let's see. Let me look at your overlay for a second. Ah, interesting. Okay. He will take the hand and then turn it and then bring it towards his forehead and then raise back up. Bailey and Kraus, Predator's focus to the nation. Born of 2 legs, half moon, child of falcon. And he'll smile. And this one's a little genuine.
She smiles at him, a little curious about the display with the hand thing. But she'll smile and nod at him. And she kind of glances down at 10 point. What was that?
He kind of will blink. Who's what?
Or what's that?
That is the Omega of my pack.
I remember hearing that howl for your arrival.
Ah.
And then she doesn't say anything more, and she just kind of steps back and then lets the tour carry on.
And for the sake of noting it, it will not be until they're all moving for this tour that 10 Point will finally rouse back up and continue to just kind of follow along at Predator's Focus's side.
Predator's Focus will place his hands behind his back and look very much the general reviewing the troops as he walks.
To kind of make some conversation, Public Enemy will look to Predator's Focus and ask, so, out of curiosity, you can keep this to yourself if you want, but where did you come from before this?
Before this, we were all at what's the name of it? Tri-Corners, I believe, is the name of the sept. Yeah, Sept of the Tri-Spiral. That's it. Yes.
Sweaty.
Thanks, Bob.
I had a character that's like the big Fianna Sept, right? Like that's like the Fianna Sept.
That's
No,
the capital
Terra
of
is-
Fianna.
Oh, Terra's the Fianna Sept.
Yep.
Terra's the capital. The Tri-Spiral is the big spiritual. It's probably, I want to say, like the second biggest deal. It's a huge spiritual center.
It's
a
the
big one.
St. Paul to their Minneapolis.
Okay.
To
Okay.
that place.
So then she'll follow up with, so you just felt the need for something a bit new following your alpha here?
We are a pack. My alpha is here, so I am here.
Makes enough sense to me. She'll say, no, not really any hint of like anything in that. She's, yeah.
He smiles.
Does your pack have? Do they have? Do you all have somewhere to sleep?
That would be a better question for my alpha. She has been here longer than I. However, I sent Ken forward. If a place needed to be arranged, one has been arranged.
Understood. Just want to make sure you're all taken care of.
I thank you for your offer, Raya.
Teresa will she'll kind of look over, because Kate, you said 10 Point was pretty much next to Predator's focus.
Yep, she is acting his shadow. So yeah, she's just kind of lurched alongside him, not quite in range enough that she risks brushing against him or anything like that, but right at his
Okay.
heel.
So it's kind of okay. So it's like that thing where she's like a step or two behind him.
Probably the one step to the side, one step back type thing. That actually makes
Yeah.
a little more sense. And jingling softly as she goes.
I know it's out of season, but I almost feel like we should be singing Jingle Bells now.
Y'all really don't want to hear me sing.
Well, sure, we do, lass.
Oh my god. Actually, let's have our Galliard do the entertaining.
Saoirse actually starts humming Jingle Bells.
Oh, okay.
Every time the bell jingle, Aiden just twitches slightly, beside Saoirse.
Yep. As she casts her gaze over to 10 Point, she'll just say, not much of a talker, are you? Or
There'll be a kind of a slight pause before one of the big ears kind of swivels and she glances aside and realizes that she is being looked at and directly addressed. To which she'll respond, "No, Raya."
fair enough. Just a warning, though. She'll look to Predator's focus and just ask, have you received the stories from Banshee about this place?
There's a little bit of a tightening around his lips as he says, I am well acquainted with this place, Raya.
Teresa will she's not quite sure what was up with that reaction. However, Tim knows. So Teresa, well, oh god, this is gonna make it so much worse. And she'll say, then, I suppose you don't need to be told then about some of the dangers that can be found in the city.
As opposed to the other generic dangers that are in the city, or is there anything specific, Raya?
Well, leeches are a problem for everyone, but some of the leeches here are definitely more persistent. Definitely a bit more aggressive than I think a lot of the Garu are used to. But advise a lot of caution against them.
There's a bit of a skeptical look at that.
What I hear, some of them are even more durable than the Striders of Ice and Concrete. I'm not saying a lot.
Interesting. I'll take your warning to heart, speaking directly to Teresa, Raya.
He smiles to himself as he's doing
All right. On top of that, it seems that there's other groups of individuals with certain abilities that, well, I know next to nothing about, but we have a bit of a the arrangement can be best described as I don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with me.
Interesting. Interesting.
Although I don't imagine.
I know there's a particular bar that some of them own, Brown Bear Pub. We're not allowed to go there. There was an incident from what I've heard.
That's Brown Bear Pub. Predator's Focus. We're not allowed to go there. Aiden just smiles at him, almost like knowing what he's about to do.
He kind of looks between the two of them, not looking at either one of them, and says, Brown Bear Pub. I will remember this.
Grand, Raya. No, Grand Predator's Focus. Grand. Aiden just grins and almost like looks at Saoirse, winks, and just strides very arrogantly.
And then looks over at Teresa. So nothing particular then. Any certain rules of the sept that we should be aware of?
One of our biggest ones, and you've already become acquainted with it. Regardless of what you do when you're off of sept, when you get back on, always make sure to get cleansed by somebody. It's a lot of nasty things out there, and you can never be too sure.
So this entire time he has been wiping his hands with this one nap, this wet nap. Apparently, finally, after a good 10 minutes at this point, he is finally seems to at least feel like he's mostly clean, and he will just simply turn and drop the napkin in front of 10 Point and snap his fingers with his hand extended.
And before the snap even comes, as soon as the thing leaves his hands, she'll reach out to snag it up right about time it's hitting the blades of grass and stuff it back into her bag.
Aiden's eyebrows just shoot up and he's like, he just looks at Saoirse, nods almost approvingly, whispers in her, is this what it's like being back home? Christ.
She She gives a slight smile back to Aiden and whispers back in his ear, I know. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I like it or not.
I fucking love this. He kind of grins at her and just like, smiles,
We better not go on with them. You're staying with me, right?
I don't know. He's making a convincing case. Christ, he kind of sticks out his tongue at her, very playfully.
She glares at him. They only just got here. You shush.
Predator's focus will take in the interchange. Say, far be it from me to break up a happy home.
Predator's focus. You're making my home better. Don't be worrying. He kind of smiles and gives him like just this big wide smile,
Oh wait, is he showing teeth with that?
No, grinning.
Okay.
Wide smile. There's no teeth. Wide. That's all.
Okay. My bad.
I see. So no other things that we should know about. No brown bear, and he'll nod towards Aiden. Nothing else?
Anything else super specific? Our Wormfoe Answers from Shadows would probably be able to give you more information.
Excellent. Whom would I speak to about getting on his particular docket?
Well, it just so happens I can pass a message along for you.
That would be much appreciated, Raya.
You got it. Ash, she'll just whip out her phone and just shoot that shit over to him right now. She knows that she'll have to wait until she steps back sideways for it to properly send, but it's good to just send it now.
So I'm interested. We are currently in the center of a large area that is frequented by those not of the nation. How does this work?
Very carefully.
He smiles, and it's almost like a father looking at a child when he smiles, almost like, oh, you sweet summer child, when you say that to him. Please, for my sake, elaborate.
She'll just blink a couple of times. Most of the sept is in the Umbra. And on top of that, many of the Elder Theurges have placed spiritual effects in place to preserve the veil in the Tellurian.
Aha, the ears go up.
And
She won't turn her head, but she's listening.
the extent of this area, would you say that it is protected by the veil then?
Yes.
I see. Could we possibly see the extent of this area so that we know which areas we can be in and which we can't?
Sure, I can take you around.
I don't mind helping. Aiden's just smiling.
I would appreciate that greatly, Raya. I will be sure to express my gratitude to my alpha, who I am sure will make her gratitude known to you.
Teresa goes ahead and pretty much shows them the concept of veil protected parts of the set.
For this part, at least, 10 Point is a little more animated, and far more alert, looking, listening, and picking up the various signs of what points are veil protected and which are not. Because this is relevant.
At one point, while they're walking, at certain points, wherever there's something's pointed out, like this is an edge or this is this, simply lower a hand with a finger towards 10 Point, and we'll not even look at her and just say, remember, and then continue walking.
And she will commit them very studiously to memory and echo a pretty blatantly practiced yes, Raya, each time she is bid to do the thing.
So after they're taken around the edge of the barn, Predator's focus will sigh rather heavily and look towards Teresa. I thank you for your time, Raya. However, I believe at this time I would like to take you up on the offer of a place to rest.
All right, I can get you hooked up with one of the cabins.
My thanks.
Public Enemy will kind of throw her gaze very quickly at 10 Point, then back at Predator's focus and say, will she need lodging as well?
He doesn't even look at her. It will sleep where it lays.
Oh, you just hear like Aiden is like, Jesus. You know, he just like
Fair enough.
almost looks so happy with himself. Like,
For what it's worth, she doesn't so much as flinch at the notion. Again, this is all very, very familiar territory, at least to her, and so, God damn it, Lorna, you bastard. She will, I'm gonna click on this. Yes, I just wanted to make sure people saw it. So she will continue to follow dutifully along, at least until they get to whatever structure they're getting to, at which point she'll pause outside and show no inclination of so much as stepping on the porch.
Right, with that, reaching the appropriate cabin, Predator's focus will point to a area roughly close to the door to the cabin and just say guard without even looking, and then we'll step inside.
I have to ask, bros. Y'all sleep in the Umbra?
I guess we would have had to slip over to go back across to go to the cabins, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So when that time comes, Balian will just stop and say cross, waiting to be pulled across.
She'd do it too. Oh. I'll make sure the bird can see it.
Oh, get it.
In infinity.
Oh, hey, my picture's up now, guys. Yay.
Okay, take a closer look at this here.
There's at least 110 in there. You skewed.
I trust you.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to clear it before you looked.
I saw it for a flash. I just wanted to glint closer at it, but
I'm
I
sorry.
trust you.
Yeah, she slips across and pulls him along with.
Y'all can do that in the same pack. Nah, yeah, you're good. All right, yeah, you all make it across. Cool.
And then she will settle to precisely the point that was indicated for her on the porch.
And Bailey will disappear into the cabin.
We should ask him to lunch with us. He kind of looks at Saoirse.
I know that you like the way that he acts, but I wouldn't be so quick to trust him.
It's being polite. Aiden just smiles.
She whispers into his ear, "He's still Silverfang."
Aye, but
She'll not really regard what Saoirse was saying. She'll kind of mosey on over Aiden and say, "Be careful, Aiden, otherwise you'll break the first 10."
he just glares at her. Fuck it, I'm asking him. He just like strides ahead, like we'll knock on the door very politely.
And 10 Point resides there with she's had her ears flicked back all the while, not in a an aggressive fashion so much as a totally not listening.
Teresa will kind of shout out to Aiden as he's leaving. Better take down that tent you got pitched, man. Be all right, though.
Just glances back at him, just whatever, just knocks on the door
I
politely.
was gonna say about time he hits the first step, 10 Point will loft a hand and thunk a knuckle against the door.
Okay. Yeah, at this point, Teresa's going to look at the gang and say, "All right, guys, shall we DTFO?"
Hi. Thought we
Alright.
should.
Saoirse will nod. She's not even going to wait for Aiden. She's rather perturbed with him right now.
She'll kind of glance over and say, "I'll catch you later, 10 Point." And she'll keep walking.
And since Aiden will be close enough to see it, her ears kind of twitch into opposing angles in a perplexed fashion. But seeing as Teresa's turning to leave as she's saying it, she's not going to chase her with words.
Oh, does she just look super curious?
She definitely looks confused by being so much as given a farewell.
Oh, she doesn't quite get. She understands the deal with Fiona Metis. However, she doesn't understand the extent. She kind of work her eyebrow.
If she is not turning and departing immediately after saying so, then when she says later, she has that moment of perplexed response followed by, "Yes, Raya."
She'll just kind of wave and then start heading off.
That's all 10 Point gets from Aiden is silence until him. Until the Predator's gaze opens the door, it's just silence. He's just standing there, awkwardly.
It's okay. She isn't even looking at him.
He's not looking at her. It's just like, how long do I have to stand here beside this thing?
She will actually probably, after wrapping her knuckle, retreat a step just to give him, quote, breathing space.
And it looks at me, and I look at it, and it looks at me, and I look at it.
And the door opens. He seemed to be getting ready to go to sleep. Yes.
Sorry there, fella. Looks at him. I was wondering, did you when you meet your alpha and all that, do you want to, he kind of like stops and like rubs his hair awkwardly. Do you want to come out and hang out with me and Saoirse, the other Fiona here, seeing as we're the only other ones? And sure, you were down back on the home country, like.
He smiles. I would be honored. Thank you for your kind invitation.
No bother, brother. No bother. He kind of shakes his hand quite thoroughly and just nods, then gives him a long, long stare and then walks away,
He'll close the door and go back to bed.
Trying not to laugh so hard. And as he departs, 10 Point will slink back into her spot and settle there, kind of stretched just enough so that she's blocking the doorway with her head and shoulders. Anything else, people, that you would like to do before we close? All right. Hearing none.
Okay. Allow me. Watchers, thank you for watching. Players, thank you for playing. And we'll see you next time on another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.